right, guys, we're going to do some fun doodles on a live stream. This is a calming Wednesday evening, and I thank you so much for joining me. And if it's another time of day, thank you for joining me too. Hello and welcome to Deliberately Creative. I'm Stephanie and I am here with a fun, calm little doodle time. We're just going to be doodling flowers on a piece of watercolor paper and just arranging them however we want. I think we're going to start off with just doing some plain little doodles on some scrap paper. So if you don't have a finished project that you want to work on, that's okay. We're going to be playing with doodles and just having the time to unwind. You know, they've been showing that doodling, drawing, painting, playing music, going for a walk and picking up flowers or leaves off the ground, all of those things that are creative help your mind unwind and relax. So if you're here, awesome! Hello there, and I am so glad that people are starting to show up. I really appreciate it. So what I want you to do, go find yourself any pencil, a pen, and an eraser. And then we will get started with doing some of these doodles. I was just playing. This was about, 5 minutes, 10 minutes of doodling. And so I'm going to show you how to do some of these flowers first before we put them together in an arrangement. Good evening, Dawn, and hello, Dark Night. Lovely to see you guys here. If anybody wants to share this calm little doodle time out with friends, I wouldn't be adverse to that. Boy, I'm using words tonight. Hello! Yay! Thank you so much. All right, guys. Okay, so I'm going to do a little romper room call down on all the names that are here to start off with, and then I'm going to be focusing on showing the doodles, and then every once in a while I'll stop and scroll back through the comments. So if anybody here, I know Dawn does a lot of drawing and tangling. If you haven't checked her out before, check out Draw Tangles with Dawn. She is amazing. I've learned so much watching her videos on ways to do some of these patterns and the assembling and shading. Oh, she's got it. All right, so we've got Draw Tangles with Dawn, Kathy, Tanya, Carrie, Leanne, Denise, Kathy Art, NM. Hello, everybody. I am so glad you're here. So what I want to do, now these doodles, I'm going to doodle straight with the pen. You do not have to doodle straight with the pen. You can go with the pencil first and then erase. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit on my screen for you. Let's see if I've got the right one. I do. Yay. I'm doing this inside of my OBS software, my open broadcasting software, to do my zooming, because if I touch my camera, it's going to put this big target in the middle of my screen. All right. No problem, Dawn. Thank you. And how about this? Dawn, would you mind being a moderator tonight if I need one? Let me know. I've got you. How about this? I'm making you a moderator. If you don't want to be one, that's okay. Let me know and I'll take it off. All righty. Okay, so we're going to get started here. First doodle, the easiest flower. You draw a circle. Whoops, I'm going to have to... Here, let's see if I turn on a different camera, if this is going to work. Of course, I did not test the camera first. Sorry. Okay, we're going to test something. See if I can get this one set up. Oh, it is set up. Yay. Almost. Okay, so let's see here. If I touch that and then go, ooh, we've got the zoom and everything. Yay. All right, so first up, we're making a circle, and then we're going to make another circle around it. And then we're going to make however many petals we can make fit. And this is basically your early flower that you used to do when you were a kid. Thanks a lot, Dawn. I appreciate that. And hello, Renee and Sandy. Woohoo! And Jennifer. Awesome. So then you're just making little U shapes around your circle. Generally, 5 petals work really well. So let's see. Awesome. Hey, Catherine. Nice to have you here tonight, too. So I've got another loop. I'm going to make an outline just around the top part of the flowers. Just keep going around the top part of the flowers. You know, this is one of those things you can just sit down and relax, and I need to make sure that that's focused. It's going to go out of focus for a second. Come on, focus. There. And, there we go. Getting things all set up, you know. And I have to turn off some sound here. There we go. So now that's the easiest one. We can move on to another flower. You don't even have to put any details inside. You can. But I find that a lot of times it's nice to go ahead and get your basic flowers in first and then go back and put in some details. So I'm going to put another flower next to it. It's going to start out very similarly. It's going to have that circle in the middle. Oh, and I'm using, this is an 0.1 Zebra Sensations or Zensations technical drawing pen. Just like that. All right. Got my iPad out. Yes. Remember that you knew how to do a lot of these doodles when you were a kid. Honest. So this time I'm going to make sort of pointy flower petals. So these are going to go out and back in. Kind of like, it looks like tweezers to me. It looks kind of like tweezers. It looks, you've got that sort of rounded and it comes back and is pointed in. This one's going to have a lot more petals. And it gives you a lot of room for doing variations. You can swoop and curve a little bit. You can not worry about if you overlap your petals funny, because we're doodling and we're doing this to have fun and to relax. Yes, focused. So then I'm going to go ahead and put another row of petals in here. So I'm starting about halfway out these petals. Put my pen down and just go halfway, making V shapes again, but this time not as big. And that's giving us a much more full flower, very, very similar to like a zinnia. Not really a mum. We can do one that's more like a chrysanthemum in a minute. I want to fit 2 more petals in that one. And maybe 2 more in this one. And see, fast, fun, easy, relaxing. It doesn't have to be hard to draw things, and you can get a whole combination put together with just a few lines. All right, I'm going to put another one right here, and it's going to be sort of a halfway between the first one and the second one. I think I'm going to try going with the top-down camera again. So this time, it's going to be a circle. And I'm going to go ahead and put a second circle on it. Doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to attain some, grand, finished amazement of a project. It doesn't have to be perfect. The perfection is actually inside your head, where you get that calm. They call it getting into the flow. You're not really meditating. It's not. It's just sort of this place where your focus is on one thing, and by focusing on that one thing, everything else goes away. It's so cool. Reminds you of a marigold. Yes, very similar to a marigold. Marigolds have, I'll show a marigold in just a second. I've got a marigold I can do. So this one is going to be out and back in, fatter, shorter, has a bit of a point. You see what I'm doing is allowing it to be overlapped. Move my phone. Sorry about that. So then I'm going to go ahead and, I made this one bigger than I was planning. Oh well, it's going to get an outline around those outside. I'm not making the outline go all the way down into the inside of the petal, just to where it comes in contact. Just like that. Boom, boom, boom. And hello. Looks like an everlasting. Yes, almost like the pearly everlastings. It would maybe have a few more petals shorter in. Again, we can do that too. It's so much fun. I am going to go ahead and put some details in this one. I'm going to put sort of a teardrop, a long one and a short one. It gives almost that folded petal look to the inside of your flower petals. And they don't have to look exactly the same. Just like that. All right, so I'm going to do a marigold. Marigolds, for me, they have more of a rectangular petal. So I'm going to go ahead and just very quickly, sort of rectangular, going down towards the center. Whoops, that one got a little wide. But you know what? I can make it into another petal. And the calendula type marigolds. I'm not rotating my book, and so my flower petals start going odd. And I'm just going to go right over the top of that line. By the time you have added all of your petals in, it doesn't really matter. You will put some shading in there, and that will be all fixed. All right. Oh, I love how we've got people from all over the world here. How fun. So, do we have people drawing? Are you guys doing your doodle while you're going along? Now I'm putting sort of little short rectangles around the outside, kind of overlapping between petals, over petals, like that. That one I think is down deeper. This one's coming here. Maybe we don't even see the ones right there. Maybe I have an extra layer of them over here. Just like that, you guys, you can make so many variations on these things. neat thing about doodling, nobody owns the finished product but you, because you're the artist. There. All right. I've got my little kind of marigold calendula type thing. I'm going to put some lines coming out from the center. It gives it a little bit of depth, like it's going down in. Let's see if we can zoom in on that by switching camera again. There. See, I don't have anybody here switching the cameras for me. And since I'm the one who knows when I want to switch, it's a little bit tricky when my husband is here doing it too. I love having him here helping me, but it's a work night. But you see how that makes it look like it's going deep into the flower now. Just those tiny little lines. And they're just straight lines. They're not magic lines or anything like that. And maybe I'll just make it a little heavier around the center. That's great to hear, Catherine. Doodling is a must. Yes, I find that I am doodling pretty much every day, even if I'm not recording a video for it. Now, some of these, I'm going to go out to the other end. I'm going out to the ends of the petals. And I'm putting a few little lines on the top side. And what that does, if you're looking at that, we'll switch back again. What that does, so I want to make this even bigger. Whoops, wrong one. I just keep moving this around on this screen here, guys. Sorry. There. So by putting those little lines on the outside ends of the petals, it makes it look like they're tipping down just a little bit, and there's a highlight left in the middle. So I can do that really quick. I don't really need to spend that much time on this. I think you guys are getting it. So if you're new here, I haven't even said anything. Shows how good of a YouTuber I am. If you are new here, I would appreciate you clicking that like button, subscribing to the channel, sharing my videos with your friends. Whoa, it's a Wednesday evening and I don't have my words. All right. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you being here and spending your time with me. I know that you have lots of opportunities to spend time on YouTube with a lot of different people. And so I feel very fortunate and very blessed that you decided to spend some time with me. There. All right. So I'll go back and do a little bit of doodling on this one. And I think this one is going to get a line and a couple dots coming out each of the petals. That's sort of like a little crease coming up and little line, little dot. They make them a little more delicate, I think, having those little lines. You know, yeah, it is a very simple way to add dimension. Just a few lines. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to, you don't really have to think hard. Once you know I'm doing a line with 2 dots. That's all I'm doing is a line with 2 dots. And maybe I want a few more little lines down deep because I'm not using a pencil to shade with. I'm just using my pen. But you can certainly do all of your doodles straight with your pencil. You don't have to do them with a pen. One of the things with a pen is if you place a line where you weren't intending it to be, you have to take a moment to figure out how you're going to adjust it and just make it look like it works. A line done out of place once is a mistake, but if you repeat it over and over again, it just looks like you meant to do it. So that's a big tip, and I learned that from Dawn also. You know, I think I want to put a few lines in here, thicken up. Thickening a line also makes it look like it's in shadow. It makes something underneath look like it's going into shadow. So I'm going to thicken up a couple lines just because I have petals in the background. So maybe that V where the petals are in the back behind my top petals. Instant depth. There we go. And there we go. See, I do go quiet when I am, and I'm putting a few dots in the center. A few dots in the center disguises some of those little lines that jumped into the center when I was making my shadow, or my little depth lines. There you go. This one right here, I'm just going to color in these little spots. Yeah, I really appreciate being able to grab a pencil or a pen and some paper and just doodle for a few minutes. Draw designs, draw patterns, draw lines. Just draw lines. And you can have a beautiful end product just by repeating lines. Now what I'm doing right here is I am putting some darker color, shading it in, but leaving some spots open that are white, and it ends up looking like highlights. Oh, Rebecca, that is beautiful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the comment that you've never commented before. Thank you. I appreciate that you commented on my video. And one of the nice things about the comments, they do stay. So after this is over, if I don't catch your comment during the live stream, I get to go back and read all the comments. And I really appreciate being able to do that too. So thank you guys. You know, I appreciate also the kind support that you guys have been giving. You know, our community is amazing. And since I have changed my format a little bit, and I decided, you know, I'm not doing the pouring so much because it wasn't making me really happy. I thought, you know, life is too short to do things over and over again that isn't giving you joy. Now, when I first started doing the pouring, oh my gosh, it was the bee's knees. It was everything I wanted to do. But after 2 years, it got a little bit the same, I guess is what it was. It just got to be, everything started looking the same or feeling the same. And I decided, you know what? I wanted to go back. I'd done my doodle gems. So there's like 60 videos of colored pencil and doodling on my channel. In the playlists, you can find all of my doodle gems. Or if you look up, do a search for deliberately creative doodle gems, you'll get a ton of videos that will pop up. And it has lots of doodling because I would doodle the setting and then color the stone. So that made it really nice also to be able to have something to call back onto and to say, "Hey, I I remember feeling so happy doing that." I'm just putting some little circles and I'm just going round and round on the little circles, making like tiny little petals running around the middle. And then a few dots. And then this little guy, you know, I think he's going to get some more petals running around, like maybe 2 or 3. If it's 2 or 3 or 4, no biggie. They don't have to match. This is doodling, and that's part of the fun also, is that it's unplanned, and I like being unplanned with it. So I'm looking at the comments again. Oh, I'm so glad that you enjoyed learning to do the pouring. And I have, I've got probably 150 pouring videos on my channel also. So, don't, if you just found me because of the fluid pouring, I've got a bazillion videos and they're all in different pouring. I've got outer space and I've got flowers, and I've got abstracts and landscapes, just because I couldn't do just the pour and splash and go. I always ended up playing with it a little bit more. So, yeah. The best part of being in the art community is that we all enjoy so many different kinds of artistic expressions. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It would drive my husband nuts until he became an artist, too. It would drive him nuts that I would go gung ho into some type of a project, into some media, and then after a while, I would get settled into it. And then it was like, well, I want to try something new. And then all those materials would get moved to the side. And I would come back to them eventually. But, you know, once he became an artist also, and my husband is a really good artist. He's in 280 days of 365 of doing an acrylic painting every single day. So, yeah, once he got into the painting and drawing and things like that, we started getting even more supplies. Imagine that, huh? And they were even better supplies than what I would buy for myself. Because I would always feel slightly guilty. I don't know, they've actually showed how if men want something, they go and buy the best, because it usually means it's going to be the best built, the longest lasting, all those things. And women tend to buy the most economical because they're, in traditionally looking after budgets and making sure that the kids have shoes and those things. So when it comes to buying art supplies and things like that for ourselves, that we have to come to a point where we realize we are worth having the good supplies. We are worth having the best of whatever we can afford. So it's a hard thing for women in Western society. I'm not sure in other societies, but first world problems. Women in Western society tend to devalue their their needs for the needs of others. So, okay, off that, off that one. I will go on to little soapboxes from time to time. So see how I'm doing that? I'm coloring it in dark and I'm leaving a white space, coloring it in dark, and that gives you that lovely rounded highlight. And if you notice, I am not coloring perfectly. I'm not worried if I'm being a little bit out of the lines or I'm not coloring it in completely. You know, there's times when I do worry about things like that. Mostly when I'm designing coloring book pages. Let's see. I think this one is going to end up getting colored in most of the way also. Sometimes the color, coloring book pages, when I'm designing those for other people to color in, I take care to make sure my lines match up and things like that. If you didn't know, I have a coloring book. This coloring book is Fun Floral Mandalas, Relaxation and Stress Relief. Perfect. And it is a whole bunch of really pretty mandala style designs. Some are very detailed and some are not as detailed. There we go. They're a lot of fun to color. So if you're interested, that coloring book is on my Amazon store. So if you click the link for my Amazon shop down below in the more information box, all of the materials and tools that I'm using here and my coloring book, they're all listed on my Amazon shop. And that is an affiliate link. If you click on anything, if you go to Amazon through my link, I will get a small commission if you buy anything on Amazon. So trying to make the make this all work, and I am also on Patreon. I have a very creative community over there that we've been doing I've been giving them some extra coloring sheets and different levels. You get different things. Everybody gets a coloring sheet from the $2 up that's only ever given to my patrons. And then we also have my project packs that I put into my store. I release to my patrons for free. So there's some value in there. If you're interested in that, I will put, actually, the information is down below in that more information box already. Okay, we're going to get back to doodling. Thank you. And yes, I know Catherine has her copy of the coloring book. KM Crafts. And she has a YouTube channel also. But I don't know if she's been doing anything recently, but Catherine at KM Crafts, she has bees and does all kinds of crafts. So she's a lot of fun to watch. All right, so I think I'm just going to talk about these ones, and then we're going to move on to the watercolor card that I want to do, because I want to do up a little design right here. So, and you've been doing freehand. Excellent, Nelson. That's great. When you make your own lines, you can't go out of the lines. That is absolutely right, Renee. I love my community. You guys are awesome. So here I did the pointy petals, and I like this one, but I stacked them. So I did a small layer of petals and then a larger layer of petals. This one right here, this is a lot of fun. This is like doing the marigold that we did over here, but it's more like a bachelor button. So it's got the extra little lines going in it. So I did almost like little flags. Like that. Sort of rectangles with tattered edges. I like the little tattered edges. And the nice thing also is that if you do your doodles, make your flower arrangements, you can go in and use watercolor on top of them to color them in. And you can just do splotches of color. You don't have to do a perfect watercolor, which is something that I really, really like also. So then when you go in to do your next layer, all you have to do is a little zigzags. Go zigzags inside there. You don't even have to make the rest of that petal because it's just behind everything. Then to make it even more detailed looking, where the point is going in, right here, where that's going in, I'm going to sit there and drag down towards the center. And I'm not worried if I cross into the center lines. No big deal. Because remember, we can make that as textured as we want. So just like that. What do you think? Oh, Nelson. Well, I'm so glad that the artwork and drawing is giving you something really good to do. I'm sorry that you were sick over Thanksgiving. Strokes are nothing to play with, so I'm glad that you're still here with us. So then once you get all of these little lines in, you go, well, that's looking a little bit chaotic. Then go in and choose where your highs and your lows are and give it just a few spots of a heavier pen line. And you see, I'm not even paying attention to where those petals actually were. I'm just going along a line and saying, aha, that's a new petal. And that's a petal. Maybe that is where I had started out with it being above and now it's below. It's a way of just looking at it and seeing it. It moves and it changes. It's optical illusions. I mean, everything in art is an illusion anyway, unless you're making three-dimensional sculpture. There we go. So there we go. Fun stuff, little differences. This one was more rounded petals, and this one was more jagged line petals. Oh, well, welcome back, Tanya. All right, I'm going to have a cup of coffee. Real quick. Leaves, super easy. And you can have it on a curling stem or you could have it on a straight stem. Curling stem, I tend to curl back on itself like that. Straight stems, I tend to have just go out straight. Straight stem, I usually end up with a leaf at the end. So depending on how many leaves you want, you can have your leaves go straight across from each other, or you can have them staggered. Different types of plants grow different types of leaf shapes. So I'm doing sort of a little dagger or spade, or I'm not sure what kind of a leaf that is. It's just a standard, it's my go-to standard leaf. But then maybe this one being on the curling type stem, we're going to do a, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to go out, come back a little bit, go out to the end, come back. So it's like a, basically you're making 3 V's, and it makes kind of an ivy shape. So out, come back in a little bit, big open V shape, go out, come back in. And you see how I'm leaving space. I'm not drawing the line straight through. If there's a leaf there, I'm just making it all work together on my sheet. So then you can go in and you can put, your extra little lines going out to the points. You can do an extra little, it's not an outline, it's an inner line, which then would give you some place to do your little extra shading around the outside and leave a little space if you want to. I want to go ahead and start working on my card here. So I'm going to set these over to the side. Now, once you've done your sheets of designs, so see, I also have some more on this page that I haven't even done. So I'll do some of these on my card first. But I'm going to use a pencil to lay out my card because I want to lay it out similarly to this one, the actual layout. So laying it out like that, I'm looking at this going, all right, I want to have kind of a big flower here and maybe a couple little flowers there, maybe another middle-sized flower here, and then some vines. That's kind of pretty. And then maybe instead of having all of that going down the side, I'm just going to do this one. So that's going to be a middle-sized flower here and a little one and another one. And then we'll have some vines that are going around with leaves, maybe one flower right here. Looks like I've got balloons on strings right now. Let's see. Well, I've got it zoomed in so, well, you guys are just going to see me draw the flowers. That's what we're going to do. And I don't think I'm going, well, maybe I'll do the rose. Do you guys want to see the rose? I've shown how to make the rose before, so I don't know if you guys want to see it again. But my delay is pretty long, so, why don't I skip the rose for the moment? I'm going to move over here. And I think I'm going to do one of these little flowers. And we're going to go, there's a center. There's the petals. And you can do this where you draw your designs on, just typing paper or something, and then you use a light box or a window to transfer by putting the light behind your image that you've drawn, and then you can trace it with your pen onto your finished paper so you don't have to use an eraser. I will do the rose. I will do the rose. All right, so then this one has the petal that comes out, and it comes out and sort of goes flat and around. I want to say this one reminds me so much of my very first big kid present that I had gotten when I was little, and it was a lime green petal car with these big, huge flowers with the big centers in the middle of them. So excellent. Yes, I'm going to do the rose. The rose is really fun. It's the fastest, easiest rose, and I did it on its own video. So I will, let's see here. How long are we in? 50 minutes. At 50 minutes, I will put the fast, easy rose card. Have to write down my notes. You love all the penciled in circles? Yeah, the penciled in circles makes it nice to kind of lay out without getting tied down to the details. And then I want to put a leaf. And the leaf is basically like making a single petal. And then I think it's going to get an outline on one side, and it will have the little lines. And then I'm just going to say there was a flower that went off the edge over here. And all you see is a little tiny bit of it. And maybe there's a bit of a leaf also that we don't really see too much of. And let's see. There's going to be another leaf over here. Maybe I will do the little curl of some ivy coming off, just because I liked the look of that. And that was the 3 points. I guess maybe it's more like Virginia Creeper. Not sure. But just doing little designs, little doodles. You guys don't know how hard it is to keep talking while you're doing this. Actually, Dawn does know how hard it is to keep talking. There we go. Yeah, I'm really having a good time doing this. I'm so glad that you guys are here. Again, if you are new here, if you're watching and you haven't started commenting, come on in and join the comment section. The chat is bopping right along. And after the video, leave a comment down below if you have any questions about things that didn't get asked in the chat. And if you ask the question in the chat and I didn't answer it, and if nobody else answered it for you, I will answer your question afterwards in the comment section. I will just make a comment that will be titled questions and answers, and I will make sure that your question gets answered. Or if you didn't get it answered in the chat, leave me the comment with your question and I will answer it. That's even easier. All right, we're going to go over to the rose. The rose, the super simple, easiest rose you will ever make. You will draw 2 spirals and some little U shapes. That's it. It's a spiral where you start in the center and you go spiral out about 3, 2, 3, however far you want to go. Go back to the center of that spiral. And the hardest thing is that you have to go the opposite direction. So I went to the left the first time. I'm going to spiral to the right the second time. Now I've got the center of my rose. I'm going to go to the outside here where that join is. I'm going to go just to one side of it and make a little U shape or a letter N. And I'm going to do 3 or 4 of those. Maybe 3, maybe 4. Oh, looks like it made it into 4. And then I'm going to go around and I'm just making those open shapes, U shapes, long letter N shapes, wobbly edges. You get to a point where you like the shape of it, you can make like a couple really big petals, like the open, at the end when the rose is completely big. Look at that. Boom. We've got a nice big rose. And it wasn't hard. So many times when you sit down to do a rose and you go, I've got to draw this line here to there and this line here to there. Oh, well, what part's deep and what part's not? You don't have to worry about it. Draw your rose, and when you color it in, you can decide, there's a shadow right in here. There's a shadow right here. I know that that's a shadow. I want that to be deeper. Okay? And so when a petal is on top of something else, there's a shadow underneath of it. And you see how right in here in the center, maybe I didn't get enough, this petal's awfully big. I can make it so it's not awfully big anymore. I just made that into 2 petals. Maybe I'll add another petal or 2 in the center. That's all it takes. Really, really easy. Do I take a sketchbook around with me when I'm going or when I'm traveling as well so that I can have something to just put ideas in? Absolutely. I pretty much always have some type of a sketchbook or a notebook along with me. And I may not have a pen, but I always have at least a pencil, something to write with and something to jot my ideas down onto. Now, sometimes I have my iPad. I have one of the Apple Pencils because I have a little iPad Pro. So I have an Apple Pencil and I'll just put a page down and I'll zoom it out really big and I'll write. And I run out of room. I'll just zoom it bigger and write some more. The page looks totally unreadable when it's back down at its normal size, but I can just keep resizing it. I've been finding that as I do more things on the iPad, I want to sit here and go like this and pinch and zoom to stretch this out, and I can't. Thanks, Dawn. Yeah, I was wondering if I should draw up this as a pattern design for the pattern collections. I don't know if there's already a rose out there that somebody had done, but this one it came to me and I was like, whoa, how easy is that? See, where there's a junction, I'm just putting some shadows. And all a shadow is thickening up the line above or below. So I'm thickening up the line right here where that petal and this petal and this petal meet. I'm just thickening it up. So, yeah, I really enjoy my iPad. I did use the iPad when I was drawing up all of my designs for the coloring book because I was doing it with symmetry. So all of the designs in the coloring book were drawn by me. The iPad is just a tool, just like a pencil or a pen. it just makes it easier, like I said, to zoom in. You bought a graphics tablet for your Windows 10. That's excellent. That is excellent. So see, that's all it takes to make this little rose, and I've probably done a lot more shadowing on it than I even ever usually do. There's several versions of this rose in the coloring book because I had a lot of fun doing it. All right. So this one, I think I want a leaf, and the leaf is going to be coming down here. This is the center of the leaf. So I'm going to have a serrated edge like that, just because I like that little serrated edge on my rose leaves. And then from the center spine, I guess, is of the leaf is where the veins come from. Oh, yeah, I really like how that rose turned out. See, and then on this petal out here, I would maybe put a bit of a shadow on that bottom edge of it. Maybe on that one too. A little bit of a shadow. Oh, see, I could get in that super simple rose could become a beautiful detailed rose. This is beautiful. We've been coloring in the book a lot. Flowers are my granddaughter's favorites. Oh, that's excellent, Jan. Thank you. I really, really am happy, and I'm happy that you made it. Okay, so now I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to do one of these double petaled ones like that. So this one has the center. It has 6 petals. Or 7. They sort of line up against each other. Sort of like a periwinkle flower. Periwinkles might have the little point. I can't remember. But it's not going to look like that anymore, because now we're going to go out and we're going to do, here, I'll do it on this one. We're going to do, it's going to go out and be like making a long heart. But instead of having the heart go all the way through, we're going to start at the edge, go up, and make the little heart poking out. Just like that. It is so pretty. It makes it look so much more detailed. Look at that. Super, super easy. And then we're going to do that little line on the inside just to give it detail. And now I am drawing a lot darker with my pencil than you would draw, because I'm going to have to go in and erase all of this. But, you know, I wanted you to be able to see it, since I wasn't drawing it with the pen, to show you that you can draw with your pencil. It's just pencil, the graphite gets smudgy. So sometimes I would rather not have You need to do a cow and a pig painting with flowers on their heads. Okay, so I'm not sure if Cinnamon did one with the... I don't think her piggy has flowers on its head, but Cinnamon Cooney, the art Sherpa, has a really good piggy. And I think I know she's got a really cute cow. Also, it doesn't have flowers either. I think the person who does a lot with flowers is Angela Anderson. Does a lot with animals with flowers on their heads. So she would be a really good one to check. Angela also shows you how to draw the critters generally in her videos. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish this flower. And you see how I'm tucking this back in behind. So you don't see the rest of those petals, the ends. I really like this pencil. This is the Zebra Tect 2-way. It's got a nice weight to it. Yeah, excellent, Jan. I'm glad I could help since you have somebody who wants those right away. The Tect 2-way pencil has it's got some weight to it. It's not really light and see. I don't think I have one right here. I have a some other of these pencils that are they're so light and it's like lighter than a regular pencil, and I don't like them. So let's see here. We've got this vine that's coming up right here. And then I'm pretending I'm drawing down underneath and I'm coming up. See how I did that? I followed the line down. I went ahead like I was drawing it. I even drew it right on the tape and then came back up and over the top to make the rest of that swirl. And then I think it's going to get another bit right here. Swirls are fun because they can just keep growing and filling in. Say I want a leaf coming off the swirl there, and here, and here. I'm not going to draw the leaves in with the pencil this time though. I'm just going to put my little lines and then I will draw them in with the pen because I'm going to start inking this here pretty soon as I start drawing a leaf. What? You can't take me anywhere because I keep doing that. All right, so let's see here. I think I'm going to do some little flowers. Center, 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 the center there, center here. Okay, so I'm going to do a bunch of little flowers. I hope you guys don't mind that this is a longer video. I'm, trying things out, seeing what works. So I'm just choosing one of these, and I'm going to do 4 petals that are the little heart shapes. I'm going to just do the little 4-petal heart-shaped flowers. Kind of like little lucky clovers. But they're not, because lucky clover flowers aren't 4-petal leaf or 4 petals. That one's hidden down in behind. And I'm not doing any tricky angles to these flowers. They are just all facing you. I'm not doing any, you notice they're all flat. They're all facing you flowers. None of them are tipped away or drooping. You could do that if you wanted to. Let's see. I think I'm going to put another leaf right here. So we're just going to go like this and give it some fun little zigzags. And this is where my hand starts going through the graphite. I'm starting to get some on my hands. I've got paint on my hands still from a painting that I did. I'm doing a little project for myself this year that isn't going on to videos except for when I do flip throughs. I will do some flip throughs of my of my little sketchbook from this project. I'm doing a 100 faces project because I want to get better at drawing and painting faces. And the only way to get better is to draw and paint faces. So that's what I'm going to do. It's kind of scary, but I'm on my today was day 3. So I'm moving along. Let's see. Maybe I'll just I want one more flower that's a little bit bigger right here. Ah, excellent. All right, guys. So let's see here. This flower. Oh, actually, I want the little bell flowers. So the bell flower is a long rounded, like a lowercase n almost. It's a long rounded U shape upside down, and then it gets a little scallop, and then you can put like an extra little dot, which makes it look more like snowdrops. And then you can put the little stamens coming out of it. And if you want, depending on how much of it you can see, you can give it a little cap. Like that. It's a lot of fun. It looks like a little skirt, and you could start making a whole little doll. Okay, I need to stop doing that. But you see how you could end up doing all kinds of fun things. But I'm going to do the little bell flowers, I think. Do a few little bell flowers. 2, 3, 4. However many little petals. Do some little scoops. Do the little top. And then do the little line. So do you guys enjoy having these longer videos like this? Excellent. Oh yeah, loving it. Okay, I had asked the question earlier. So yeah, I really enjoy getting to do something like this. Nice thing about it is, I don't have to edit the video except to go in and put some of those cards in. There we go. Doop, doop, doop. Okay, and then there's a little few little leaves, more little leaves. You can fill these in as much as you want. You're not replicating somebody else's version of nature. You're doing your own thing. I think I want this swirl to come over the top of that leaf. And because I'm doing this in pencil, I can just draw it right over the top. And when I ink it, I can ink this in and not have to worry about it. Ooh, let's see. I'll do it like that because then it could be part of this one over here. Okay. Had this little line. Fill it with flowers, fill it with leaves. I'm definitely a more is more. When it comes to flowers and gardens, more is more. Yeah, doodling on watercolor paper is nice because you don't know what you know, you could just pen and ink it and leave it. You could color pencil on it. You could watercolor pencil on it. You could watercolor on it. And I did leave a little section right here where I could write a word. I'm not really good with my lettering, but I might write a word. We'll see. All right. 01 or 02? Maybe the 02 to start off with. All right, so I'm going to actually start at the rose, and I need to put a little piece of paper down. Sorry. Went out of frame for a second there. I'm going to put a piece of paper down because I've got a lot of graphite on here. You have to get some of the Arteza paint pens. But you have your watercolors at hand. Use your watercolors. You can do it. You can do pretty bright, brilliant colors with watercolor also. You know, the Arteza paint pens are great. I love them. I'm really enjoying doing the landscapes with them, the deep colored sunsets. I have a video going up on Monday that is a dawn of a new decade. It actually is more like a sunset, but you know, leeway. Got to have a little bit of leeway, right? So I'm just tracing over my lines, which is a nice thing with your pencil, is that you can trace over the lines. If you put a lot of pencil down, sometimes when you erase, if your ink isn't really, really dry, you will smear. So I'm going to ink all the way across and then go back to the first things that I inked to start erasing. So it seems like this time of night is pretty good for a lot of my friends here for winding down and just relaxing. This part of it is actually very relaxing to do, just tracing over your lines. And if you need to make a decision on, you know, some other place for a line to go, you know, but you can just say, yep, I like that line, and go with it. And yep, I like that one too. But it doesn't have to be exactly the same. Your pencil line's going to get erased. So, you know, so what if your pen line moves over or your flower petals change? It doesn't matter because your pencil lines are all going away. Ah, yeah, using the colored pencils is a really good thing. Stencil the word. That's a great idea. Thank you. You know, actually what I was thinking is that I can print the word using a font that I like, and then I can trace it using a light box or the window. I don't have a coffee table with a glass top on it or anything, so I can't do that one, but I can do the window. And after it's all traced on and erased out, it's such a satisfying feeling seeing the finished design all together. And you know, you don't have to do something as detailed and full of designs. You can do just a couple little flowers in the corner of something, you know? You can do I'm looking at this going, oh my gosh, this flower could have turned into a butterfly so easy. If I had put a long, sort of a long, skinny, long rod right here. Actually, you know what? This one's turning into a butterfly. Look at that. Still looks like a flower, but it looks like a butterfly too. And just make the little body. So the flower and the butterfly are all together. Maybe that butterfly only grows, only lives where these particular flowers are. There's many butterflies out there that only eat one type of plant. So could be this butterfly looks the way it does because of the type of flowers that it eats. These little stamens going in, they're just a line with a loop on the end. So it's coming down and it's a loop. Just like that. Easy peasy. I did, yeah. Still make it a butterfly, absolutely. Actually, I'm going to give it a little bit bigger outline on its wings. So then when we take the pencil lines off, oh, it's going to look so cute. It's going to be so cute. All right, I need to get these little guys. And yeah, this is definitely that time when the words start leaving me. You know, just because my brain has gone to that place where words don't live. When you're in the flow, words don't actually live there. Symbols, pattern, those things live there. So anytime you've got an art teacher that's actually creating art and maintaining language, both sides of the brain have to be engaged at the same time, and they're kind of like struggling with each other. They want to start boxing or something, you know. They're going to say, "Hey, I'm in charge right now." And my hand is saying, "Hey, no." The side that controls the hand is in charge. So yeah, I do get a little silly when I'm doing this live. I am working on getting my website all organized. I do have a blog, and if you go to my website, I have lots of entries and things on different projects that I have done. So let's see here. Slide that down. If you want to be notified when I put new blog entries up, there's a, sorry about that, I just hit my microphone holder, which is attached to the camera that's right up there. So if you go to my blog and sign up to get notifications when I post new blog posts, that actually is going to be where I start. I'm going to get better. I'm going to get better. But I'm going to start posting a post to go with each video. So if there's extra tips and tricks, or, you know, like something like this video, maybe I'll go find some resources for you. See, I'm not paying attention really to where the leaves are on my tracing. I decided I want more. And I don't care if I have pencil lines there. Pencils are guides. They are not the boss. So just use your pencil as a guide. Don't fuss if it doesn't match. I have to shift. I'm sitting down and my knee is getting a little twitchy. Oh, the Campanula means gratitude and humility and everlasting love. Aw. I love the language of flowers. There's so many things that the Victorians came up with. So, oh, and I think the Romans and Greeks actually had language of flowers of some sort also. But I really, the romanticism of the Victorians and their books and books of the language of flowers. See, I have enough information about a lot of different things to just get in trouble. I know a little bit about a lot of things, as Catherine can attest to. If KM Crafts is still around, she knows me. She's actually my niece. So I've known her entire life. She's known me her entire life. Let's see. I think I want to change the shape of that little outline. So I'm just going wide, going up, and going wide again. Going up and going wide. Just to make it a little different. The little flower petals, there's just like two little petals that are poking in right here. This was a smooth leaf. Like that. Give it that center spine. Give it a little outline on the edge. And then give it the ribs. The ribs. That's what they look like. They look like ribs on a... You know enough to be dangerous. Ah. Yeah, there is that. There's the danger. I grew up with it being that it was, I know enough to get into lots of trouble. Because I'll start talking and I sound like I know what I'm talking about. I just have to know when to close my mouth and not continue speaking. And that is tricky. So this is that kind of ivy leaf going onto that swirl. Little three-pointed leaf. Look at that. We've worked our way. We're down here at this bottom. Oh, did I missed a leaf. Yes, indeed, I did. But I caught it before anybody yelled at me, or before I noticed anybody yelling at me. There we go. Excellent. Yes, yes, please. And if you do any of these types of things and you happen to share on Facebook or Instagram, you can tag me. Just tag at deliberately creative, the at sign, deliberately creative, and I will be notified that somebody has tagged me. And I can come see your artwork and show it some love. There we go. I appreciate that you guys have come and hung out with me and spent your evening here. That means a lot. There we go, round and round. Just working my way around. Sorry if my hand keeps getting in the way. I'm trying really hard to keep it out of the way. But, you know, sometimes you just have to put your hand where it needs to be so that you don't hurt yourself while you're drawing. Well, I know that I've been unwinding here. I can feel the tension drifting out of my shoulders, and the spine and the ribs on the other rose leaf. Yep, right here. Thank you. Got it. One of the nice things is that as you erase the lines, if there's something you missed, you will catch it. You'll see it after you've erased the lines. Okay, so right here, I want these extra little outside of these petals, which is almost like another set of petals. See, now I'm starting to do that bouncing around thing, and that's where things get forgotten. Is when you start bouncing around to start filling in those areas and you go, oh, yeah, I wanted to go over here. Oh, oops, I was supposed to go over there. So I'm trying to catch everything, but it'll be good when we do the erasing to see what we get. All right. Ooh. Yep, there's another leaf right up here that was just tucked in. All right. I think that I'm going to go ahead and I don't think I'm going to be going in and doing all the extra detail lines right now because we're coming up, we've just crossed an hour and a half. So question, do you guys want me to do all the different, all the extra shading on here or just show you a picture of it after I'm done? Let me know. I can feel my pen is starting to get a little bit out of ink. And I'm also, you know, working on top of the watercolor paper. And watercolor paper has a bit of a texture to it, so either or. Yeah, it is hard to tell the difference between the pencil and the pen on the video, which is why, you know, I could have just left it penciled and said, okay, I'm going to ink it in and just show it to you at, you know, another time. But it's also kind of fun to have something to be working on. And it's very satisfying to erase all the pencil. At least for me. I don't know. I might be an odd duck on that one. You want to see. Do I need a break? No, I think I'm okay. And oh, so I'm the art lady. Oh, I like being the art lady. Thank you, Jan. Ah. Oh yeah, don't worry about it, Lisa. I do that all the time. My fingers, no biggie. You know, no biggie. I, you know, especially when I'm typing on my iPad or on my phone. Let's see here. I want to put a little bit more of a thickening of that line here and there. It doesn't have to be thick everywhere. Just every once in a while, just drop in a little bit thicker of a line. There we go. All right. I'm going to go ahead and starting over here at the rose, I'm going to use my Kneaded eraser, and we'll find out how well I did. I can see where lines where I didn't get connected. That's okay. I can see a spot where I didn't draw a flower. Neat thing is, you can go in and draw the flowers. You can just fill them in. And, you know, I might go in and just drop a tiny bit of color. Okay, that's the question. Do you guys want this to go into color, or do you want it to stay black and white? Yeah, I'm game. I'm game. I've not done a long art stream before, so I don't know what the replay value of it is. You know, what if people will come back and turn it on just so that they have something to listen to while they're doing other things. So let's see. I see a spot where I wanted the top of a bellflower, maybe. Go ahead and put a little shadow under that edge. Choices, choices. Yeah, see, that's my thing, is that I end up giving people a lot of choices. Then I don't have to make the decision, right? Color, 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 color. Okay, color. Well, if we're doing color, I'm going to use my pens. And I'm going to leave the tape on. let's see here. Do I have water? Okay, guys. I have to go and put water in my brushes. So, excellent. All right, so I am going to pop out very quickly, put water in my brushes, and be right back. So, don't go anywhere. I'm back. You just got the Inkonic pens. I don't know. Are they a water-based pen? Oh, that's great, Renee. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that you'll be coming back to practice on the rose. So let's see. The rose. I think I want... We're going to go with a pink and yellow type rose, maybe. So I'm grabbing, I've got the amaranth pink, the honey yellow, the lemon yellow, the fuchsia pink, and then we've got a couple different greens. See, this set is the, how many is in this set? 120. This is the 120 set. Now, we do have a 20, they do have a 24 set and a 48 set and a 72 set. So, you know, you're not stuck with just one size set or the most expensive. You can get smaller sets. I'm grabbing a couple different purpley colors, like 2 or 3 of those. One of the things that I like doing is just grabbing random colors, and then I'll see how they work together. So I've got a couple cool greens, and now I think I want a couple... I want them to be a little bit farther apart than that, though, for color. Maybe like that. That will give me a shadow and a... with that. That gives me a shadow and a light and a dark. I think that's enough colors for now. Get those out of the way. And I may not use all those pens, but I like choices. Choosing colors is also one of those things that some people get really frustrated about. And it's like, don't worry about choosing colors. If all you've got is a red, blue, and a yellow, you can make all the colors. Yeah, this was the 120 count set. I was very fortunate that the Arteza people contacted me and asked if I wanted to try it out and see what I like, you know, see if I liked it. So let's see here. I am going to take my yellow and I'm going to go ahead and get the yellow just dropped on to areas that I want to have my highlight. And I'm going to let it, it's going to end up getting all mushed together. I'm going to let them, you know, blur and I'm not going to keep my colors, you know, totally pure. I want a different pink. Let's try this one. This is the amaranth pink. Go down in here and see how it mixes with the yellow. Sort of like a peace rose, you know, where you've got the pink and the yellow, and it goes out and blurs out. And I'm going to get to a point here where I am just dabbing color around. This is a 140-pound watercolor paper that is by Bee Paper, B-E-E. And drop some of that next to the yellow where I want some shadow. And we'll see how this works. I mean, I am not an expert by any means. I am definitely somebody having fun, though. Okay, that's enough of that. I want to put the 60 count set of the Arteza and the 60 count set of Color It. How many of the colors in the Color It and the Arteza set ended up being similar or the same? That's my fear, is that if I try going to some other sets, I'm going to end up with pretty much the same things, just, you know, over and over again. So I'm just taking a water brush. This one is the one from Arteza that's not my favorite, but it's the one that I had at hand. I'm getting the yellow wet first, and then I will let it blur into the pink. This could end up being less than satisfactory, or it could end up being, oh my gosh, amazing. But the colors are showing up pretty bright on there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start working into the pink now. The whole thing is going to end up being wet, so oh, they're different. So are the Color It's a water base, or are they a alcohol? So I haven't used them before, so I don't know. Oh, I know what this rose looks like. There's kind of like a confetti rose that the colors end up being sort of like this, where they're sort of washing in and out of each other. Don't know, the tip of this doesn't feel like it's got very much push today. Because that's kind of what I'm doing, is I'm getting it wet and then I'm pushing the colors around. But see, when I colored it in, I didn't color everything tight up against each other. I left spaces of white so that we didn't have that, you know, everything just went whoosh together and wiped out everything. They're ink and they're refillable. Oh, that's nice. So, you know, it's nice to learn from each other in the community about different things with our art supplies and the options that are out there. Okay, so that is wet, and I think I'm going to take this orange and take it in around some of the pink areas, warm them up just a little bit, and maybe get a little bit of some flow going back and forth. Some of these pens work really well on top of wet, and some of these pens work better if you put it onto a palette and use a brush if the paper is wet. And the orange seems to be laying down some color. Oh yeah. Oh, this is working out. See, I love coloring. And I mean, basically what I've done here is just give myself a nice coloring sheet. So take that orange there and maybe just a touch of it out here on the edge. Oh, getting a nice highlight running in there. So coloring roses, coloring books, coloring pages, making your own. So fun. White with a red dot. That kind of is like the confetti, isn't it? Yeah, white with red dots. So I might get something that has just a bit more depth to the color. Might take that fuchsia pink after all, because it's a little bit darker. Oh yeah. I like the points on these because you can get really very accurate placement of your ink. And then it didn't matter that my pen lines didn't match up properly or all the way. What do you guys think? Ooh. It's kind of turning into a tangerine dream or something. There we go. Just staying away from some of those areas that I want to have that brightness in still. But yeah, letting it bleed out a little bit also makes the petals actually feel more real, even though it definitely is more Technicolor bright. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I think I'm going to take the, actually maybe I'll take the yellow onto the leaves, just right where I want the highlight, that highest highlight. I'll go ahead and do that over here too. There's not going to be much on that one. And then this is the acid green. So that's going to be a bright green. Right in along with that yellow. And I definitely am somebody who will just pick up a color and put it down and hope for the best. I will swatch things from time to time, but oh, yeah, brush lettering. Another one of those things that I would love to learn how to do, but that I'm like afraid to start trying to do it. Okay, that is actually kind of brighter than I was expecting, even though it's a dark color. There we go. Under the edge of the flower. Flower will cast a shadow. So if you came in late here, I'm Stephanie from Deliberately Creative, and I am having a fun time just sharing my art with all of my friends here on YouTube. All right, that one I want darker. I think I'm gonna, let's see what this green does. Oh yeah. I just want this bit to go boom, be super dark into the shadows. Yeah. So, you know, here on YouTube, I've been doing videos and teaching people fun ways to realize their own creativity. And if you enjoy these types of videos, go ahead and click that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your friends. All the good stuff. You know the drill. Leave me a comment after the video and let me know what your favorite part was. And if there was something that I did that you were like, why'd you do that? Leave your questions. Let me know. I would like to do more of these types of videos. I kind of like this longer video where I can do a whole project with you live. But I also know that a lot of people don't have time to hang out for a long video. So neat thing is, if you came after the live show and you're watching, you can always click that little gear underneath the title of the video and you can change the speed so you can get the playback quicker. Okay, so this is going to be interesting because I've just put a lot of color on there. Let's see. I just want to see if I can blur that edge just a little bit without losing all of my bright yellow. That's going to be the trick. Because I was talking and not paying attention. All right. So there we go. That's not too bad. What do you think? We doing okay? I think we're doing okay. I want to do kind of a multi-layered petal here. And I think it's going to just be in the pinks and purples, kind of like the fuchsia, I think. Maybe we'll do the fuchsia pink. And I need one paler pink. So let's put a little bit of a pale pink on this. Ooh, bubblegum. Well, that's not exactly pale, but it's lighter. So we're going to go like this. And then we're going to go around the outside, leaving some spots of white, not doing all of it. Think right down this very center. And then we're going to take this sort of lighter purpley color. I'm kind of leaning over the work here, so. Oh yeah. My idea is going to work. And again, I'm just putting it in, just sort of scribbling it in, leaving some white spaces because that allows for some highlights to just sort of magically appear. Let those colors sort of blend. There we go. Just touching the paper, getting it wet and seeing what the paint does all by itself. Trying to not bring the green into the flower. Okay, wipe off some of that. All right, Dawn, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. You know, we all are here to support each other, and I love that. And thank you. And guys, remember, if you want more actual pattern doodle step through, walk through stuff, check out Draw Tangles with Dawn. She's awesome. She's given me so many shout outs over the last couple years. I just, gotta shout her out too. All right. So I'm going to take a little bit of that purple right into the very center, and then maybe even dab it right around. Nope, this is one of those colors that doesn't go well on top of wet, so I'll have to grab a different one. That was the thistle purple, and now I just grabbed the light magenta, which actually looks like a purple. But I think it's going to give me a little bit more color down here in the center. Maybe. I saw a little bit. It's a little bit purplier than the fuchsia. There we go. It's kind of like these are the little cupped over ruffles. Almost like you were looking up inside of a fuchsia from the underside. Those things sort of magically happen sometimes, Little surprises. Not even an accident, just a, oh, I didn't even realize I was doing that. Yes, some of them work really well over wet paper, some of them don't. But the ink will work if you put it onto a palette and pick it up with a regular watercolor brush and move it over. All right, I think because I used that purple there, I'm probably going to use some of these yellow over here. And I'm going to use the purple on these little guys, I think. And this is going to be my light color on these little flowers. And I think the butterfly is probably going to end up being more of a blue. As I say with question mark in my voice. Oh, I like that. I like that almost without even getting it wet. So I think those are going to be more like little forget-me-nots. And not even get them wet. I like that sort of loose coloring to them. Campanella. Campanula. What color are those? They're not, because these aren't little bluebells. They're the, what colors are those? I think I'm going to come over here and work on these while I wait for someone to tell me. I wait for somebody to tell me what color I need to do for that. I'm going to go with the yellow here in the center, leaving some space, and maybe put a little bit of yellow on the outside edges. Just tapping it in. Doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, this is doodle coloring. We went from doodle drawing to doodle coloring. Pale violet, blue. Oh, excellent. Because that's sort of in my cool line. I'm kind of, if you look, I'm just sort of a diagonal. It's the cool colors, and then I've got my warm colors on the corners. Don't worry, Jan. I knew what you meant. The campanula are not violent. They are violet. We got it. All right. my orange color. Get that little warm color going here. Not going to be any pink in this or red. Are used to call a pen and ink. Not sure what that one was about. All right, Jan, thank you so much. And the video will be around so you can check it out later to see how it all ended up. I will be posting on my Facebook page and probably on Instagram with this. Again, I don't know that I want to get that wet. I might get that wet. Pale violet, blue, and a light gray. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because the light gray gives you that kind of white. But then I'm also able to leave some white, kind of like I did right here, the lighter color. That I may be going back in with a white gel pen to get some of this up here. Just, you know, maybe. Pen and India ink with watercolor and a brush. Yep. I was definitely an ink and wash person. That was my jam. I love the ink and the wash. Let's see. Maybe this one is like that. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yeah, I can tell that I'm starting to my steam is starting to run down just a little bit. Let's see. So this was the thistle. So that's in the shadow under the cap. And this one is pretty much all in the shadow behind. Maybe a tiny touch of highlight. And then we will grab a pale blue. Pale blue. Okay, so this is ice blue. So let's see. I'm just going to go straight on. It's more gray. It's pretty. It's pretty. It's definitely more of a gray blue, greeny gray blue. And is that the darker? That's the emerald green. Let's see. Darker emerald green. Just use a few of the little hairs. Very, very tip of these, you can actually get very fine details. If you're interested in these pens or their watercolor paper, which is really, really good also, I do have a coupon code down below for 10% off your entire order at Arteza. I'm going to go ahead and use this green and get some of these leaves in. Just coloring half the leaf with the dark green, and then I'll go back in. Like I said, I'm at that point where I go, oh, I have a green in my hand. I should go and finish doing green things. Because we're getting down to the, I want it finished. I want to show everybody it finished. Be getting this all colored in really quick. What was I thinking when I did all those leaves? I was thinking I wasn't going to be coloring it in. I was thinking I was just going to do it as a black and white. Silly me. With all the fun pen colors I've got. Okay. Yeah, I like that flower. The campanula flower. Campanula flowers? Campanella flowers? Which is it? Campanella or campanula? I don't know. Just, yep, I'm getting a little bit sloppier, but you know, when I get them wet, they're going to ooze out just a smidge and it's going to soften up. And oh, that's looking really pretty. I do have a flower over here that needs to be done. Maybe it's going to get a little bit of dark blue. I like that sapphire blue. It's, well, maybe a little bit of that sapphire on his wing. So the butterfly definitely looks different than the flower. And then a touch of water, and we'll move that color around. That will work. Lighter green. The second one works. Korean bellflowers are pink. Cool. The neat thing is that these are all, this is all made up. So we're good. We're good with whatever colors we use because we are the rulers of our worlds. And if we want blue sheep or purple elephants or zebra striped roses, we can do them all. Just putting a little bit of color on the stem, even where there's not a place for color to go. I'm just putting it on the paper. Your brain fills in so much. And this is a little bit lighter than the a little bit lighter than the emerald green. It is the seafoam green. Oh, I want a warmer, maybe I'll put yellow on first on my ivy. I want it warmer. And maybe oh, yep, that just warms those leaves up. Boom, 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 boom. Not going to do all of them with that yellow, but a few of them here and there. All right, so which green? I want it to be a warmer type of green. Green. It is just green. So oh yeah, there. That's pretty. The yellow wets the paper really well. So you end up with the color softening. The yellow seems to stay wet longer, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So the colors actually blend and bleed a little bit with the yellow. It's fun. All right, so now we're going to go and... Oh, it looks like I had a little bit of a soft pink on my brush. That worked out perfectly. Right there. And now the blue butterfly. Just getting the paper wet and letting that color kind of bleed in. I like these the way they are. This one needs a little bit more of something. I don't want to use any more other colors, so I guess I will go to the amaranth pink. Give it a center. And maybe just a little bit of a shadow line color. There we go. Sort of emphasizing the heart in these little flowers. Let's see. I know that's not a very... Ooh. Yep. So I could go in and completely spend a lot of time bumping up the contrast in this rose. I'm not going to. I say as I continue moving my hand around. This is just the thistle purple on top of that yellow and orange and fuchsia. Oh, that's making a big difference in the tones. Okay, yep. See, I am that person. I will one more thing myself. Oh, just one more. One more thing right here. Oh, but what about that one right there? You know? Do you do that? Okay. That made a big difference, though. That makes a huge difference. The paper is still wet. I have not dried it. Yeah. So cool. All right, I'm going to get this flower I'm going to get wet because I like how that bleeds together. But I also like how it looks when it's not wet. So I'm going to leave the flower next to it not wet and not blended. Oh, so cool. Okay, we're going to put a little bit of color, just not not going to get those wet, just putting a little bit of color on the stamens. Oh, let's see, will it darken up under that edge? I want to darken up under that edge. See, this is, like I said, this is where I next myself into things. Next thing, next thing. All right. Okay, we're going to pull the tape off. But we're not going to pull it super fast because you don't want to tear the paper. right, let's get the tape off. This is going to be so pretty. What it reminds me of, this type of a thing, is like having a piece of fabric, like a fabric square that's been cut. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Where's that ice blue? Where'd the ice blue go? Where am I? There it is. There was that flower up there. I only did the sapphire on. I didn't do the ice blue there, or another color. There it is. Now it's finished. And one more. There we go. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate the suggestions and the cheering on. I am going to go ahead and grab a wad of tape on my arm. Let's grab a pen and sign this puppy. So I'm just going to sign it right here. And it's going to be actually my signature, because I'm very proud of this. And my signature kind of goes with it without interfering too much. Ah, so pretty. Thank you guys. It's not a Band-Aid. You don't have to take it off. Yes, it reminds me of an English garden also. I love English gardens and the bounty in them. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you. And remember, go out and do something creative. Take care of yourself so you can take care of those around you. And if you're new here, click that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your friends, and leave me a comment down below if you have any questions or suggestions. And if you'd like to see more long videos like this, let me know that also. I really want to do what you guys want to see. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.